Morning, Smita and Raj. Welcome back to the weekly success coaching session. I know we had a session last week. Each one of you had a task to do or a project to make you guys more effective, make you more successful in the industry. And this week we're coming back again with some people who were last week on the call. They're not here today. I'm guessing they probably did not keep their commitment to deliver. So Raj and Smita, each one of you had your own project to help you guys get better, be more successful. Raj, for you, it was putting yourself more out there, which was you're great at marketing, branding yourself, but your hesitation of doing your marketing videos perfectly. You spend a lot of time. Our objective was to put you out there on social media, on Facebook Live between last Friday to today Friday, 5 times, and do whatever videos so that you get over the hump of doing it perfectly. Smita, it was for you to identify clients within your database who are not as motivated to make the decision today. Come up with a strategy that one of your team members, one of the other resources is spending time with them to get them to the finish line, and you become the person who's directing your team member. So those were each of your tasks. Smita, would you mind going first? Share with us. What did you accomplish? What did you do about them?
Absolutely. So I identified 3 people that are just slow in making a decision. I know exactly what they're looking for, so I just delegated it to my admin, and I actually gave him my login, and I said,
I'll interrupt you guys as we speak.
Yes.
Please don't call your team member admin.
Okay.
Because what happened is when you use the term admin, when you introduce them to your client, you'll also say admin.
Got it.
And admin has an impression that this person is not as qualified. Use the term my team member.
Got it.
Okay, continue.
So my team member, and he is also in the process of becoming an agent, which is great for me because then he'll start showing.
No relevance. No relevance. So basically, let me help you. So all I want to know is what are the action steps? You identify 3 people.
Yes.
You have a team member servicing them, right?
Correct.
What I need to know is what specific directions you've given him. His license, that's a separate thing.
Got it.
What specific directions have you given to Daniel to service your clients effectively? I want to hear about that, Smita.
Sure. So I have drilled down on the criteria that they're looking for. So literally every day he goes online and he checks and he sends them an email. If there's nothing that day, we're not sending anything, but as soon as something pops up, be it coming soon or already online, he's sending them an email so they know that we're on top of it.
Question, Smita. Let's just say 2 days go by and there's nothing that comes on the market which is relevant to those clients. Is he still communicating or not communicating?
Yes. So if there's nothing coming on, every week we're sending a weekly touch base email just to say, hey, we're checking on what's going on. If there's nothing, we'll let you know. We might have a couple of pocket listings coming up.
So you have him touching this client on a weekly basis for a listing that came on that week, or
if the listing comes up, he immediately messages or emails them. There's no time lag. If there's nothing that's coming up within like 2-3 days, and every week we have a follow-up method where we reach out to them despite anything coming up on the market or not.
I got it. Understand. And this message that's being sent on a weekly basis, is this something that you have scripted, or did he come up with that?
No, I've scripted it. I've created a template. I've given it to him.
Understood. Are these templates in an Excel file, Outlook, Gmail,
Word,
or are they in your CRM system, KV4?
So they're not in the CRM system KV Core because that takes more fine tuning because we have to identify those, and then it's more hands-on. So it's just on a Word document and he copy pastes it.
So let's just say your team member Dana is out sick for 2 weeks. What will happen for those emails that are supposed to be sent out, Smita?
Then I'll have to send it out.
So which means that then now you're doing your, as you say, admin's work?
Yes, so I get the point to put it on KV Core and automate it, but sometimes KV Core is a little bit finicky because it will not automate it based on
Smita.
Yes. Okay.
Find another CRM system.
Okay, got it.
Right? That should not be the roadblock. Also, I want to ask a follow-up question. You said your team member goes to the local MLS, HAR, finds listings or searches every day in their search criteria. If there is something out there, there's a Word document, kind of sends them an email. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, question for you. Our MLS system, HR, has a methodology, it has a functionality that if something pops up in a criteria, it actually automatically notifies the agent.
Mhm.
Is it set up that way? Is it not set up that
It
way?
is. It is. That's how it's set up. But even through those, we have to look through because somebody needs a certain facing home or somebody needs something else, 2 bedrooms down, which may not show up in the
Got it.
listing.
So what you're saying
So
is, what you're saying is,
the
step
alert
one,
is set up.
perfect. So for each client, you set up alerts in the MLS.
Correct.
You get notified or Daniel gets notified?
I mean, it's copied on both. So
Okay.
I'm also on it. So I see it quickly.
Love it.
But then to go through it, I've already given him the criteria. So he's looking through it and then sending the email.
Fantastic. So you get alerts from HR. These 3 homes came on the market, but then you have further criteria that may not be available on HCR, whatever those may be, direction, blah, blah. You say, is this home meeting the criteria? Then that email is sent to the clients.
Correct.
And then if interested, then your team member will assist you with showing or whatever it may be. If there's nothing that comes of relevance to the client for 7 days, then every week, is there a specific day of the week?
Yes. So we've every Monday is when we touch base with them. Come what, even if there is or not. And then as soon as the listing comes up, he looks through it and then he'll send it out.
Love it. Great job, Smith. So I'll give you an example of what I've been doing. I have also a client working with them for about a year. I'm a team member and he has an automated alert set up from HR. He gets an alert, but he sends them an email every day because these clients, if they see something that I didn't tell them in a timely manner, even if it's 1 day late, oh, Kunal, you didn't tell me. So
Right.
what my team member does is every day he sends them an email, Mr. Client, so-and-so, today, no home came on the market. Next day, Mr. Client, this home came on the market. Would you like to see it? Would you like to see it? So some clients, even though they are passive lookers, but more communication would lead to more success. So again, you're the team lead. Your decision is to let them know when a new listing comes on, and once a week, tell them nothing came on. I love that strategy. I know right now you have over 3 clients, which are far stretched out. I would recommend find your medium level clients also, who are motivated maybe in the next 30, 60, 90 days, but not as far as these 3 clients. I think this methodology is fantastic, right? So I know within an MLS, we can name the search criteria by client name. So
yes.
When the notification comes, this search was for this specific client. I would highly recommend, this is great foundation, Smita. I also know HAR can be linked to KV Core. Okay? And here's what happened. When you're notifying these clients, you're notifying them by email. On the other hand, if there was automation of leads or these search criteria coming into KV Core, and then from KV Core, you're sending weekly or daily notification to the client, you'll have a history. Hey, Mr. Client, the last 30 days, I've sent you 60 listings because you have that history. You don't have to go through the emails of your team member or your own email. What I'm recommending to you is this: you've taken step 1, now take a next level. Track everything in KV Core. When your team member is sending email as a follow-up to the client, have him use KV Core to send the notification, because it'll track, did he do it, did he not do it? If he's out a week or 10 days, you can just go in over there and follow up on his behalf. Or tomorrow, Daniel is no longer here, you hire somebody else, you can plug and play the resource who's doing this. Last question for you, Smita. I love that you've done this step. Have you documented this process? What you just did? Oh, phenomenal. So it's like a SOP, like statement of purpose, which outlines that. And what are you creating all these documents? Are these saved on a Google Drive, shared drive? What are these?
It's a Google Drive Word document, Google Word,
And what do you call that, Smita?
Processes.
Processes. That's where rock star. I love what you're sharing today. That proactively you've created a folder for processes. This is your process for finding listings for your clients, and what someone does if tomorrow you replace resources happens over there. Great job, Smita. Thanks for sharing. So I'll come back to you once I talk to Raj, but I want you to share with me next, what's your game plan for this coming week? What are you going to be focusing on? And what are some of the problem A that we can brainstorm on today? Would that be all right?
Yeah.
So Raj, for you, I saw your videos this past week, buddy. You were on the game at F45 at Outsider Listing. You were out there, and I saw your excitement on this Facebook Live. You would be there with all smile across your face. Your energy level was up there and was a different Raj. I saw the raw Raj. You're muted, by the way. I saw the Raj. Can you unmute yourself? I saw the raw Raj. Your feelings, your excitement was there, and I could sense the feeling of accomplishment. I saw day after day, and wasn't that your video on day 1 was not good, day 5 was better. I'm not judging the quality of videos from day 1 to day 5, but your level of excitement, it went up every freaking day. So great job getting out of your comfort zone. And those 5 videos, you kept the commitment, and I'm super proud of you. Would you mind sharing with me and Smita this morning? The first one must have been a challenge. Just step out, take a selfie stick out, and do the video. But go ahead, share.
Yeah. So the one I made one last Friday, right after our meeting, but then didn't post it. Just whatever. So I posted that this morning. So I'm gonna kind of count that as one. But the one that I just did live, it just felt good. I just kind of had an idea of what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk about being nice. And, Smitha gave some great feedback that even though I'm trying to just, be man out there is still a level of production that is expected in a Facebook Live video. So now I'm a little bit more sensitive to that. And, then I did the one when it was raining and Sonath wasn't there. And then yesterday we did one when he was there and it was sunny. And I had recreated everything, like straight from panning. It's a beautiful day in Riverstone because here I am, It was an incredible exchange, but I never hit end.
Okay.
So now I've got the video, I put it in my car. Sonath and I make a couple inappropriate comments just because we're brothers. And I put the phone down in the car and I'm driving away. Sonath's like, delete the video. What? You're still streaming. And again, I have no idea how any of this works. So I pull over this. Then I go to the stories thing and they hide in the stories. So now I delete that. And then that's why I sent the message out. It's like,
can you all see it?
Hey, Raj, you know what? When you fire often and you do it the way you did, there are going to be some misfires. And this is one of those things. Now you know better when to do the video. But what I love was in these videos, most of them, it was not about real estate. It was get to know me, who I am. And you know what? You're the kind of person who needs love, who needs attention, and needs to be heard. And I was reading through comments, family members, friends, neighbors, even people from out of town, out of state were commenting. And I could see your responses back to them that you're like, yeah, I'm excited. It was such an amazing feeling for me, Raj, to sit on the sideline and watch these videos and see the reaction of people and going back and forth. That I just saw as we went on during the week, a different level of excitement in your body language, your eyes. I didn't get to see the one you did yes because maybe you deleted it, but FYI, just for your knowledge, stories are always short videos. They will never have the full video. So then if the video was too long and kept going, the end part would not show up in story. Only the first 30, 60 seconds will show up. Does that make sense? So you may want to delete the video from your news feed, but in story, you can still leave it because that'll show that you did the content. So great job on that. Let me ask you this. Now that you've gone over the little bit of hum doing these videos, is this something that you want to commit to yourself to keep doing going forward? Or this was one-time thing and you're done with this, Raj?
No, first, thank you for all those sincere comments. Those aren't like copy and paste comments by you. That really means a lot to me, the way you kind of articulated everything I was going through this past week. And I do feel I've jumped over a little hump, but it was interesting. I'm in the back of my mind, I'm now thinking of all these videos and I want to stage them and have production and music and all this stuff. And it's just like, whoa. There's something that worked this past week and it had no music in it. It had no
It was real and raw, Raj. If you go to YouTube, if you look up social media and all the different campaigns people run, the most real videos, raw videos are the most watched videos.
Yeah.
Because anyone can produce video with hiring people, resources, camera lights, and script and re-record. But it's the raw videos that gets the most views, most likes, most comments.
Yeah.
Again, your objective, Raj, is to get known. Your objective is not to have perfect video on social media or anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right? And you should, Smith, that's correct. There is some level of production, some level of professionalism that comes in swinging your camera or turning the camera, whatever it may be. There's a little bit of that that's required. But I do not want you to go back to the same rabbit hole of production, music, and all that stuff. There is a place for that. And if you want to commit to 1 production video a week and 5 live videos, I'm A-okay with that. But you cannot get away from doing these live videos. So instead of me telling you, I want it to come from yourself. I 100% believe you must continue the trend of doing 1 live video a week. Sorry, 1 live video a day. I shouldn't say a week. 1 live video a day. That'll just put you out there. And the more you put out there, the more comfortable you'll get. And these production videos that have been taking you, if not weeks, days to produce and edit, even they will be done in a much shorter time because your bar of excellence would be adjusted based on time required. So my recommendation is you need to have a habit that you can repeat over and over again, or a task that you do over and over again that actually becomes a habit. And doing it for 3 or 5 days is not a habit. You can't go to the gym for 5 days, you know what, now it's my habit, I'll do it. You have to do minimum for the next 30 days. And then it'll become second nature that doing live videos, no matter what you're doing, walking your dog, going for a showing, you'll do more and more live videos. But then the content that you create over this period of time may have no relevance, may have nothing of value for that matter, but your fear of getting in front of camera, your fear of being a perfectionist will go away. So my suggestion is the 5 days were almost like a trial for you to see what comes out of it. I think it was a huge win for us. And especially what you went past your mental block and you got validation love for so many people. Today's April 1st. My suggestion is rain or shine. You got to do 30 live videos this month. And if you want to do production level videos, Raj, which are, music and all that stuff, maybe your goal is 7 or 4 or 5 this month. So I'll give you a minute to process that. You're going to set your goal. Smith and I will hold you accountable. Okay. I'll come back to you in a minute. I want a number that you're going to achieve or exceed. Don't come back with a short goal of, Kunal, I'll do 10 videos in a month. Don't come with that number. I want you to take ownership of that goal, and we'll talk about it in a minute, okay? Split that back to you. So you had good progress this past week. You talked about the CRM system. What is that one thing that you're going to attack this week to be more productive or successful? Because it's Q2 right now.
So my Q2 goal is to put myself out there more and to build my brand. That is my Q2 goal. I am finally going to release my podcast this week. It's too much now. It's high time. You
gotta just put it out there. And
I'm just gonna put it out there.
Remind me again, Smita, what's your podcast name?
It's called Real Estate Success Accelerator.
Real Estate Success Accelerator.
Yeah.
You mind if I ask a few questions?
Yeah.
Okay. How many episodes have you recorded so far for you?
2.
You got 2. And is this a weekly content you'll create or monthly?
It will be weekly, yes.
Okay, so you are week 1, week 2 done for April.
I am week 1, week 2 done for April, yes.
When is the first one going to be launched?
This week.
This week, as in first week of April?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, next week, yes.
So first week of April, then second week of
Yes.
April. And your content for week 3 and week 4, when is that going to be created?
So I plan to record it next week. I have a couple of guests that I'm trying to schedule. So yes, it's a mix of solo and interview.
Fantastic. So at any given point in time, you'll have at least 2 in the pipeline to push out the following.
More than that, I always like to do a month in advance. So I will, I'm getting started, but I like to have 4 in the can before I get started. So yes, I will have 4 ready to go.
So Q2 goal is to build your brand, get more known, and podcast is a platform you're going to use. You have the pipeline set up. By the end of Q2, what metric will you use to evaluate if podcast strategy was effective or not effective?
I don't believe 3 months is enough time for me to evaluate if podcast is if that's the end of a podcast for a metric,
Let
right?
me clarify. What I did not ask was in 3 months, you will evaluate whether you should continue or not. But there has to be some benchmark to evaluate the success of the podcast. So I'm not expecting you to make a decision, but in 3 months, you'll have to have some metric to even evaluate the effectiveness. What are those metrics? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yes, it does. But having done podcasts before, I will tell you, it takes time for a podcast to take off. So in 3 months, I'm not looking at my download metrics. I'm not looking at my listenable metrics, none of those. My goal is to create content, and I'm going to do it via podcast.
Here's what I understand, Smita, that no matter what the results in 3 months are, you're going to continue doing it. And I'm 100% agreement with you that you should continue regardless, whatever you have. At the same time, you have to have the metric to evaluate. You just mentioned yourself, number of downloads, number of listeners, right? So you have to get the data at the end of 3 months, or you should do it every month. But in 3 months, you'll say, in these 3 months, I had these many listeners, these many downloads, whatever the benchmark are for evaluating success by the end of 3 months. I agree with you. You'll continue with that. By the end of Q3, end of Q4, you have a benchmark to evaluate. Because I know for a fact, you've already shared with me, you are trying to be a leader in this space to coach, train people. And one of the pillars is going to be building podcasts. This will become your playbook to say, hey, when you start a podcast, here's what happened. When I started my first podcast, by the end of first week, at the end of first month, I had these many listeners, these many downloads. At the end of this month, this happened. At the end of 3 months, this happened. You're almost creating a blueprint that'll be a reflection of the process to get success in terms of launching a podcast. And that what you would download to other people. So if tomorrow Raj says, you know what, Smith, I see that you're doing a podcast. Can you train me, coach me, mentor me to start my own podcast? Absolutely, yes, right. But let me tell you the benchmark. I've had a lot of experience, but you got to be patient. By the end of 3 months, here were my numbers. But then here's what I did to get the numbers up. Does it make sense? I'm not saying that you stop at 3 months, but you got to have clarity of what are your benchmark. As an example, as realtors, we essentially use a few benchmarks to evaluate our success. One is units sold in a month, contract written, right? Second one is sales volume. Third one is commission earned. There are 3 metrics we use to evaluate our success or progress on a weekly, monthly basis in real estate, right? So I'm clear about there are 3 things, metric I use to evaluate my progress. So you already mentioned download, you already mentioned listeners. Do you have clarity what those metrics are that you'll be using to evaluate your progress?
Yeah.
What are those? Do you mind sharing with me and Raj?
So the main thing for podcast is the number of downloads. Okay. So that's the biggest thing. And then of course, how many shares you get and stuff like that. That's all on the side. But I mean, in the past, I have done a podcast, and I do know how the progress happens. So what I'll take from what you were saying is that I will record the process, which I have done in the past. So I know, in a year or 2 years, what happens. So I will record the metrics that I'm able to get a hold of from the different platforms and keep that as a blueprint.
So in the beginning of this call, you mentioned about you are a process-driven person. You create a process for tracking things. Isn't it the process-driven thing? What you want to do, whatever you do today, whether it's podcasts, Raj doing videos, if you have something that's documented and process-driven, it can be duplicated. Because tomorrow, if you're an industry leader, people come to you, Smitha, would you help me become a podcast expert? For a fee or whatever it may be, you can say, yes, absolutely, yes. But here's what I've used, tools or metrics or whatever to make you successful. So think big. Your objective, as you shared in the past, is to be known, industry leader. And leaders, what they do is create processes that can be duplicated, which are documented. This is making sense what I'm sharing with you, Smitha?
Yeah.
Love it. So podcast is what you're going to focus on for this quarter.
Yes. Anything else? No, so the goal is to create the brand, and obviously podcast was not the only one. I need to, I haven't written an article in like 3 months. So the goal is to at least release 2 articles a month on Inman.
So 3 articles, so it's 2 articles a month?
2. Mm-hmm.
So in Q2, Between April
Yes,
and June,
6
you write
in total.
you write 6 articles, and only to Inman. Is that why Inman only?
I mean, that's the #1 real estate related magazine, but I do plan to pitch to others depending on which way I plan to go. But at the moment, what I have is Inman and of course Success, but Inman I'll do 6.
Question: you are a contributor to Inman and Success, or Inman
Yeah.
only? To both?
I'm actually for 3, 4 of them, but yes.
Okay, so I love what you're sharing, that you want to write X articles a month, but you target only Inman. What I would recommend, that's the platform you like doing and you actually have skills, writing skills. What you already have got approved to be not subscriber, a contributor to Inman and Success, a few other ones, that boat is sailing. Where you write an article, if it's well written, it will be accepted by these publications, right? If that's your passion, Smita, then every month, if every quarter, if not every month, you should target, I gotta find one new avenue to put your content out there, okay? So one benchmark would be, I'm gonna write 2 articles a month or 4 articles a month that I want published in my existing platforms, Inman, Success, but every month, every quarter, I'll find one new avenue to publish on or contribute to, okay? Because in time, you'll have maybe 5 or 10 platforms where you write articles to. Then you will have the data point to say, you know what, this one gets me the maximum exposure, or one article that you can be tweaked is, okay, maybe I'm ignorant over here. If you write in one article about one concept, one topic, can that be published in multiple platforms? No. So it has to be completely new content. I see what you're saying. Is it fair to say that if you publish one article in 3 different publications, you will have the means to evaluate which was getting the maximum exposure or maximum return on your time? Does it make sense what I'm asking you?
Yeah, it depends, because they don't send to us the downloads or metrics or opens. Those are.
Have you asked for it though?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's in the contract that we sign.
That they will not give it to you?
So it's their data to be had. But that also means that if they don't invite you or they take away, because I have as a contributor, I have access to Inman's back platform, right? So if I don't have access to it anymore, that means that, you know what, okay, they've given you enough chances and it's not working out. So yeah, I mean, it's typically, it just takes a matter of time to figure out which platform is working the best.
Let me ask you
most
this.
of it.
I got it. So basically you're saying when you get the boot, you would know you're no good.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you on some body magazine that you're contributing, is there one that's maybe higher level than this that you look up to or want to get on, Smita? Do you have a target?
Yeah, I do.
Which one is that, Smita?
Forbes.
You want to get on Forbes?
Yeah.
Is this goal written down somewhere for you?
Yes, it is.
And I love it, Smita. I love it. Okay, so give me a timeline. 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years. What's your target goal to become approved to be a contributor on Forbes?
I mean, before the end of the year, that's on my goal to do for this year.
2022, Smita Singh will be a contributor for Forbes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that goal. Now, have you figured out to get to Forbes, what do you got to do in the interim?
Yes.
You already have a game plan.
Yes.
Love that. And we won't take too much time today talking about it, but is this a process that you've documented somewhere?
It is written down, but it's not a process.
Okay.
It's just like, I know which ones I need to get to first to be able to get to Forbes.
Your goals are outlined, but maybe you've not formally written down the process because you're still going through it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm loving a discussion today because you've shared with me multiple times your process driven and strategy and vision goal. And I love the fact you have vision goal of being approved as a Forbes contributor, but you're still in early phase of getting to that stage. This is where take some time right now, have your team member do that for you. Create a step-by-step process for it, because think of it this way, you want to be leader in the market. If you say, when you partner with Coach Smita or whatever you want to call yourself in the future, when you work with you, I'm going to help you become a contributor in these publications because I've done that. I'm going to help you become a contributor through podcast platform. Here's what I've done. Then your value is going up significantly in the market. They'll say, you know what, I want to be a coach trained by Smita. So phenomenal, Smita. So two things you're going to target this month. One, of course, is podcast. And you said you'll have so many done in advance to have the pipeline. Next is contribution to these magazines. But then I love that you shared the ultimate goal for 2022 is get on Forbes. I'm going to hold you accountable over that.
Absolutely.
All right, Rod, did that give you enough time to figure out what your target goal for this week is, what you're going to be dealing with this week, Rod Seth? You're unmuted. Please unmute yourself.
My monthly goal is
Not monthly goal. Let me ask you first, weekly. Let's start with week first. This
Got
week, now next Friday, what is that you could be targeting and doing?
I'm gonna try and stay at 6 videos.
Pause,
I did a week 5.
Pause. Drop the word try. Say, I will do 5 or 6 videos. Try means you putting weak words behind your commitment. When you put weak words behind your commitment, your body, your brain is listening to it. Oh, Rod said try, so I guess we're gonna try. But when you say, I am gonna do 5 or 6 videos, your brain is listening, my friend.
Yes.
If they're listening, they're gonna commit to it. So say it one more time. What are you gonna do this week, Raj?
I will do 6 videos.
Love it.
Aye, Captain.
Thomas Blackwell, he's trained us, right? It's what you say. You're the captain of your ship. You say, I'm gonna do it. You are gonna do it. Follow-up question, Raj. You're gonna do 5 or 6 videos. Are these gonna be these scripted production videos or live videos?
6 live videos, and I will do a little bit more production video.
Fantastic. So 1 production video between today and next Friday, and you said 6 live videos on social media. Fantastic.
Yes.
Question for you, Raj. We talked about consistency for the month of April. What I want to also have is a benchmark that 30 days, you can have days where you may be not feeling too good, or you may have other commitments, may not be able to do. I want to have some benchmark for the month of April. For the month of April, how many live videos are going to do?
I will do 24 live videos.
Love it. For the month of April, how many
Yes.
production videos in the month of April, Raj?
2 production videos.
Not a problem. So you're going to do 1 this week, which you said already committed to, and you slack off for 2 weeks and you do 1 the last week. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. I don't want to focus too much on that number because I know I can do that number, but I don't want.
How about this, Rod? How about I help you exceed that goal of 2 to 4? Would that be of value to you?
It will be of value to me.
Okay, so let me tell you what I'll do.
What am I signing up for?
I'll tell you what I'm signing up for. I will do production video with you. I'm a team in the office. You and I will sit down and have a powwow about anything. We'll have the camera, we'll have the mics, we'll have all those things for maybe a minute or 2 minutes.
Okay.
I will commit to doing production videos with you, 2 of them, okay? Which means my team will record them, they will edit them, they'll get the content to you, and you will push it out. In those videos, you can talk about anything. It's you are driving that discussion, and I will help you do those videos. Is that a commitment from you now?
Yes, absolutely.
So the month of
I
April.
will do that. We will do 2 production videos together.
So in the month of April, you're going to do 4 production videos.
Yes.
24 Facebook Live videos.
Yes.
I love that, Raj. And you are going to do it.
I will.
Fantastic. Hey, Raj Smita, thanks for committing to your own success on a weekly basis. The more you commit to your own success, the better we all get. And there's nothing we can do to get better. People who get trained, coach, mentor always outperform people who don't get trained, coach, and mentored. This was a weekly session of weekly success coaching in real estate. I'll see you guys back again in action next week. Have a good one, guys.